My name is Chris Cook. I'm the Managing Director of the Office of Communication and Marketing at Texas Tech University and Texas Tech Public Media. Texas Tech University is full of great communicators, and together we hope to bring you perspectives and insight that can help you in your field. Communication is what we do every day, and it's intricately connected to our success and failures. This is Communicators in a Cart. Dr. Guy Loneragan is a professor, researcher, and veterinary epidemiologist in the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources and has played an integral role in Texas Tech's pursuit of the School of Veterinary Medicine. He's been the driving force behind the curriculum and development of the school's proposed model and has spent countless hours presenting the plan to communities and agricultural and veterinary organizations throughout the state. Hey, Guy.
Hey, how are you, Chris?
Good, man. Good to
see
see you.
Nice bow tie.
Thank you. Hey, you got a little bit going on, don't you?
A little bit, yeah. Lots of fun.
You got
It's
time
really good.
Do you have time to talk about it?
I do have
Let's talk
time
about
to
the vet
talk.
school stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay,
Let's
coffee.
do that.
Let's go. Get in the
Perfect.
cart.
You're licensed to drive this, right?
I'm not licensed to drive it. I heard you have
good.
to have a license, but I don't.
All right, I'll hang on.
Yeah. I think the goal is not to hit anyone.
Well, it's a good goal to begin with.
So how long have you been on campus?
I've been in campus now since July 2010. So I've been here, this is my 9th year.
Where did you come from?
I came from West Texas A&M. I spent almost 9 years there, and before that I was at Colorado State University where I did my master's and PhD.
Okay.
My vet degree is from the University of Sydney in Australia.
So what is your master's and PhD in?
It is in epidemiology, which really is, if you think about going to a vet, they're trying to work out why that animal is sick today.
Right.
But if in epidemiology, you wonder why the disease is more common in a group of animals relative to another group of animals.
So would that relate to like herd animals?
Absolutely. So I spend a lot of time wondering why and researching why certain diseases are more common in different types of animals and how we might better manage disease and prevent it. Or things like food safety, so salmonella, why some cattle or pigs or poultry carry salmonella more often than other groups, and what can we do?
Vet School Initiative is new for everybody. It's been talked about for a while, but this process and everything, it seems like every day we're learning something new, but it requires us all to keep up and be on the same page. You find that same, not cooperation, but collaboration with people here on campus.
Absolutely, and really this effort began in 2014.
Right.
So this is now its 5th year more recently. It's been decades in the making, but for the last 5 years we've really been focused, and as people have become more involved and more invested in, more and more people come and contribute in different ways that make it possible that we're where we are today.
That's great.
All right,
Let's get coffee. School of Veterinary Medicine.
Yes.
Why now?
The issues that they identified in the 60s, the 70s, again in the 90s, and then in the early 2000s haven't been addressed. And if anything, they're getting worse. As Texas population grows, we're hitting 30 million people any day now, we have more and more demand for veterinary services, whether that's livestock veterinarians or small animal veterinarians, and we just can't keep up. So last year there were almost 600 applicants for 162 spots that they'll enroll this year. And that really is not a good situation. It's now more competitive to get into vet school than med school.
And I think maybe even more one of the more heartbreaking parts of that is you have students who grown up wanting to be a veterinarian. Maybe they can't afford to go out of state, and the other opportunity does not exist for them. So it may be they wait their time or go and pursue something else. But to me, that's one of the more compelling facts and figures behind this is the demand that we saw last year.
Yeah, and you can look at all the statistics in the world, but it gets real when you hear it from individuals. And so there's one veterinarian that's working with us and signed on as a founding practice partner. He was telling me that he got really motivated into this program, not because he has any relationship to tech. He doesn't. He didn't go to undergrad. His kids don't go to tech.
Right.
But he has 3 young associates that collectively owe $1.2 million in student loan debt. that is not sustainable at that level. And I think that is an aspect of where Texas Tech fits into this program so well.
Right.
Let's expand access to Texans to affordable education, high quality, world-class education.
So this is not just about starting another vet school. The approach to this is different. The curriculum model is different.
We can say, what is our wheelhouse? And our wheelhouse are vets that serve small ag and regional communities and expand access to affordable education. You got to start with the right student. If you want a student to live in a regional community or a smaller community,
Right.
they're typically from a community
Right.
like that. You've got to give them a curriculum to help them be successful in that type of community and for the practice they're going to practice there. And then the other aspect is experiential learning in those communities, and that's a key aspect to our program, and then support them when they get out. So if they're practicing a long way from a referral centre and they see their first ACL rupture in a dog,
Right.
how do we walk them through healing that one? So those 4 areas are is the focus of our model, and it's very different than the traditional model, but it's also very complementary to it.
I think something that's also important to note is that when we talk about, you hear a lot of the conversation about rural Texas and the shortage of veterinarians in rural Texas. It's not just large animal. We're not talking about, it's easy to associate that, but we're not talking just about large animal veterinarians.
Absolutely. We got to produce veterinarians of all shapes and sizes,
Right.
whether they are dealing with cows in West Texas or Central Texas, or they're equine practitioners, or they're a small animal veterinarian that is going into a community like Lubbock or a Victoria or Sulphur Springs, or small animal practitioners going along the border. We need to produce all types of veterinarians. The key thing is not the type, but where they go.
Right.
And that's the program we're developing.
And so you mentioned earlier, the kind of student you look for this is going to be the type of student that will stay in these areas, most likely to stay in these areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at other programs around the world that have done this, they've been overwhelmingly successful. University of Calgary, 2/3 of their graduates go into a practice that supports rural Alberta. There's a program in Australia, 5 years after graduation, 92% of their graduates are in small or regional New South Wales. So it can be done, it just it requires a very strategic approach to get it done.
So what are you hearing from colleagues, for example, at Colorado State, Kansas State, which I think is important to note? Colorado State, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State are closer to where our School of Veterinary Medicine will be in Amarillo than it is to the state's existing program.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
we have producers in the Texas Panhandle
Right.
are closer in distance to Wyoming
Yeah.
than they are to College Station. This is something that is bigger than any individual. This is really bigger than an institution. This is why so many stakeholders from external to Texas Tech who didn't come to Tech have donated money to the program, who have invested in the program, or who are signing on to the program, and why so many people within the tech community are supporting this effort. So there is a big team of people that helps get this done.
A lot of people involved in this who care passionately about this process and about having the School of Veterinary Medicine, but not just, again, it's not for a trophy on the case.
Well,
There's a lot of people feel this need, whether they are in veterinary medicine or not.
so many people are emotionally involved, and that's really part of the aspect that makes this daunting job so much more achievable and so much more doable, if that's a word, in that they are enthusiastic and I don't have to come to work and people aren't enthusiastic. We're all enthusiastic together.
You've done a good job leading the pack.
It's been a lot of fun. It's easy with so many people.
Thanks, Guy.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Chris. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
You'll have to teach me how to tie bow
We can
ties.
do that.
Good.
We can have we'll set up a room over here put it on Tech Announce and get everybody into.
So we can do it. It's a community learning experience.
It's all hands on deck.
Okay.
Everybody who wants to learn can learn.
Good. I'll have to relearn.